So, how been ya? Welcome to the Black Country Craftsman's YouTube channel. This video is part 5 of the house renovation playlist, where I've purchased a 2-bedroom house to renovate for the rental market. If you'd like to find out more advice on renting houses and the things to look out for before you buy one, check out my other video, the Buy to Let Guide. So let's crack on and pick up where we left off. If you can remember, we diverted from inside to landscaping the front garden, which is complete, to the electrician updating the sockets and cables in the kitchen, to updating the consumer unit to comply with the regs to make it safe for my tenants. Now it's time to go back into the bathroom and continue where I left off. I've purchased this wooden bath panel that comes in 2 pieces. First job before you fit it is to make sure the bath is as level as it can be. Using a level or a straight edge, place it on the outside edge of the bath. Then mark the floor to indicate where the bath panel needs to come to. After you've marked it, roughly put some tape roughly around where the bath panel will sit, and then with the spirit level, get your level and then mark on the tape as to where the bath panel will finish level with the edge of the bath. Okay, now we have a line all marked out, perfectly in line with the edge of the bath to the base of the floor. Okay, as you can see with this particular bath panel, you've got a plinth that fits the back of the bath panel. So basically it'll fit something like that. So what we need to do, we need to try and get the thickness of those 2 pieces there, so you know where to fit the batten on the floor so it sits the back of there. So we need some measurements to calculate where we need to fit the timber. The thickness with the 2 of the panels combined is 30 millimeters. So I need to mark that from the outside line. Okay, so there we have it. The first line there is in line with the edge of the bath, where the bath panel will come down vertically, and the second line is where we need to start placing the timbers, about there, ready to attach the plinth, which is at the back of the bath panel. If you obviously are fitting something different to what I've got, where it's not in 2 pieces and it is just one vertical bath panel, just basically measure the thickness from the edge of the line of the bath panel, measure it, mark it, and fit that batten to the back end of the bath panel there. Okay, cut the batten to length, and with some suitably sized screws, being careful that you don't go through right the way through the floorboards, as there's pipe works underneath there, and get some suitable screws and attach the batten on the floor, and then we can start to look at fitting the bottom part of the plinth. Okay, I've removed the tape. I've cut the bottom plinths to length, putting the back one first to the edge of the timber, and then marking that and cutting that square. I plan to fit these L-shaped brackets at the back of there like that, so there's no fixings visible on the front of that one. Okay, all fitted using the brackets. Nice straight corner there. ready now to measure up for the bath panel. Okay, what I did with the end panel is I turned it upside down, put it to the end, marked it, and put a cutting line at the very back there. Also as well, I marked it to the correct height, ready for the screws to go on the other side so I can attach it to the plinth. Okay, end panel has been screwed up. I plan to put some white caps over the screws when it's all finished. A piece of batten that's been secured to that corner, so as you can see, got a little bit of wood at the top, batten to the right, and also as well there's a batten being fitted on the left. So yeah, ready to put the main panel on to finish the bath panel off. Okay, bath panel's now fitted with plastic caps on to hide the screws. All we need to do now is, at the right time, we need to seal the bottom and the side there. I'd like to do something with that gap, put some plastic trim over there. Same with that one, as it is a little bit of a dust trap and it does look a little bit messy. Okay, just to finish the floor off, I've put a Desiccatia bead around, as you can see. A few little dots of glue. What I have actually used is a product called Sticks Like Turbo, which is it's a really good purple adhesive, silicone base, flexible. Ideal for circumstances like this where you can't actually nail the beads in place. Okay, while the beading is setting, managed to get hold of a new toilet. It's a lot better than the old one. What I'm in the process of doing, that's the old pan connector. I always change the pan connectors when I fit a new toilet. Basically, it's a simple task of pushing that into the open-ended soil pipe there, and basically the end of the toilet, you can see that, pushes onto that, and with the rubbers it seals lovely. Always try and place a little bit of silicone lube on the rubbers, both there connect on the pan connector there inside and on the outside, so it does slide in nice, a lot easier with some silicone lube.
We need to now look at altering this cold water pipe that feeds the toilet with water to enable it to flush. Turn the water off at the mains and open all the taps on the cold feed upstairs.
Obviously the water is turned off at the stopcock. There's no outlet at all to release the water from in the kitchen. Lucky enough, we've got this bodged up outside tap that will be removed. Just to let all the cold water out of the pipes, so I can put the pipe in the toilet and refit a new one. Okay, we need to connect this pipework up to the bottom of the toilet. Obviously the original pipework is not lining up properly, so we've got to do some alterations. Bought a new isolation valve there with a connector, so what I plan to do is to come off the bottom of the toilet with that, with this right angle bend, go that way and then back down again, and then connect it with a coupler onto the original pipe. What I always tend to do, obviously the water's now drained from that pipe, I like to do a little bit of a dry run first before we start soldering. Okay, we've got a little bit of a 15mm pipe there, a little 15mm elbow there, and going across to connect to there. So what we need now is to position this on there and just put a little bit of a mark on the pipe, basically where you need to connect that elbow to. Okay, we're all cut to length there now. If you can see that point there where the pipe needs to go into, you need to put a mark around there on the old pipe, just so you can connect this elbow to the old existing pipe. Using the pipe cutters, guiding the mark on the line. And there we go. Okay, cutting pipe work is quite simple with these pipe cutters. You put a mark on your pipe where you need to. Simply where the mark is, line it up with that line there and turn the pipe cutters in a clockwise direction.
The dry run is now complete. Scrape the paint off the end of the old existing pipe.
Okay, now this is the combination that we need to get this soldered. Now there's your soldering compound there. That there is your flux, which is a cleaning paste that you must apply to the pipe as just before you solder. Clean all the joints, your copper joints, with a little bit of wire wool, and also inside of your elbows there also need to be cleaned. Always take out either if there's anything rubber, or in this case your fibre washer, as these components do get really hot as you're soldering and you will damage those if you don't. So your first job using this little paintbrush is apply this flux all the way around any pipework that needs soldering. Also apply some paste, and don't forget again with the wire wool to thoroughly clean this old pipe as well just before you solder. Okay, we're all pasted up and ready to put this in place, ready to solder. Okay.
On starting your gas blow lamp, turn the heat down to a low flame, as I've done. Then carefully start to heat the joints up. As you start to hear the flux bubbling, start to tap the solder onto the joints. When the pipework is at the correct temperature, the solder will start to melt and it gets sucked up into the joint. Now this is called a capillary action. When soldered, Cool down with a bit of flux on your brush. When it's completely cooled, clean off with a dry cloth.
Okay, just quick show you your isolation valve connector that goes underneath the toilet. That fibre washer just slots in on there. What I then tend to do is apply some of this paste all around the top of there, and there's your nut that connects to the underneath of the pan. Then this is a compression joint, so basically your pipework goes in there. That's your olive. Your olive pushes right up to that, and then the nut then tightens on the thread and that compresses in. So there, what you put on there is what's called PTFE tape, which wraps around the pipework there just before you put the tighten the nut up. So fibre washers on with some paste, bonding compound, and just literally attach that to the underneath. Then place your nut on first, and then your olive second, and pop that up to there. And what we need to do now pop a little bit of paste just underneath. Which will hold the olive in position, and then just wrap, a bit awkward, but just wrap your PTFE tape over the olive. Using this small adjustable spanner, and carefully tighten the top nut that's connected to your toilet. By placing these mould grips onto your isolator, you're able to hold the mould grips, and which will hold the isolator in position, as any slight movement of your isolator can actually loosen the first nut that you've tightened. So as you're tightening, be very careful that your isolator doesn't move. And if you notice, the screw where the isolator is quite easily accessible for a screwdriver to isolate the water.
Before switching the water on, turn the isolation valve so the line is horizontal, which, as I've said in previous videos, turns the water off. Close all taps that have been opened.
Okay, slowly now turn the water back on. Now firstly, check all your joints below your isolator, all your soldered joints, make sure everything's all dry, as that's now live. It's fine. So now Turn the isolator. As you can see, the toilet is now filling up. Wait for the toilet to fill up and continually keep flushing, checking all the joints underneath, all your connections, around your pan connector. Make sure everything's all dry and you have any spillages, and if that's okay and you're all dry and you've done a good job, then apply some screws to the back and to the floor, and now screw your toilet in position. Okay, toilet now screwed in at the bottom, screwed into the tiles with some rubber washers, and then last thing, put the lid on, push the toilet, no leaks, job done. Okay, coming to the end of this video now. What we've accomplished on this section is bath panels fitted, toilets new in. From when we first started, obviously the radiator was changed. As we've discussed before, taps have been changed, tiles have been all cleaned up. And now we're ready for just a little bit of finishing touches on the bathroom, a little bit of grouting missing in a couple of places, a bit down there, a little bit of silicone in, and then we can start. Also as well, we need to try and tidy this corner up a little bit to stop that being a dust trap, and then we can start to put a cabinet, perhaps a cabinet by a cabinet, and put a cabinet up there, and a shower rail for the shower curtain. Bathroom isn't, we've completed the front. The only thing that's remaining for this is to put some plants in at the appropriate time. Next job, the next video, will be concentrating on the kitchen, as it's the next big thing that really we need to start, and the kitchen will be arriving in a couple of days. Okay, if you've enjoyed this video, smash us a like, drop us a comment, and if we can help you, we will. And please subscribe to give us a little support. Also, please check out our other videos, as we've got quite a few out now. You may find something that might just help you out in the future.